Everyone, Cahirla of the Council, members of the Council, attendees of the conference, it gives me pleasure to welcome you all here this morning to the Low Energy Buildings and Energy Supply Chains Conference, which has been hosted by the REN NET, the Renewable Energy Business Network. It's been a very successful network, and I suppose the unfortunate part of it is that this conference marks the ending of the funded period of that. It was funding that was provided through the European Union under the Interreg 4A programme. And I suppose part of the work that we have been doing has been very much minded on devising ways of ensuring that the value of what has happened to date and the relationships that have been built are relationships that will continue and endure. So I suppose as individuals who are interested in this here present, and those of us that are involved in the council system and the wider enterprise support side, we want to work together to ensure that the collaborations and the partnerships that have been built up during this project are partnerships that will endure and give, I suppose, lasting benefit. The project was a very successful one, as I say. It started back in 2012. It was delivered through a successful collaboration on a cross-border basis between ourselves and Donegal County Council, Derry City Council, Limavady Borough, Magherafelt District Council, Strabane District Council, and of course the North West Region Cross-Border Group. And I suppose in many ways lots of things have changed during that. On the positive side, from this project's point of view, a lot of learning has happened. There's been a lot of, I suppose, development in the technologies and the systems that are available, but I think there's been a lot of partnerships built. And on the other side, the councils that were involved, and particularly the councils, I suppose, on both sides of the border ourselves, we've seen significant change insofar as we had a county council and 4 town councils when this project started. We now have a county council only, and similarly with our northern partners, Derry City and Strabane are now together as one council, legally taking effect from the 1st of April. And I suppose further down the south coast of our county, we have the former Fermanagh and the former Omagh councils coming together. Limavady, that I mentioned here, is a council that now looks east for a partner. Magherafelt is part of the Mid-Ulster region. So, you know, there's new opportunities in those changes, but I think there's new challenges as well, because particularly a place like Limavady that is our near neighbour across the water in the Foyle, we would have done a lot of work with them over the years, and you know, the fact that they are now part of another council, I think we shouldn't allow that to become a barrier to continuing to work with them. So it's back to the project. The aim of the project was to grow the green economy in the Northwest region, in particular by supporting the businesses that were involved in that sector. And in addition to that, as opposed to encourage others to get involved in it. Donegal County Council, indeed all of the councils, would have had much opportunity to interact with the private sector generally over the years, but wouldn't often have an opportunity or have a means to give direct supports. And I suppose this project gave ourselves and Donegal County Council, through the partnership and the other councils as well, an opportunity for the first time to have a direct ability to, I suppose, give a support to a particular sector or an emerging sector within our local economy, and we were very pleased to do that. There was also, I suppose, much involvement from the early days by the County Enterprise Board here in the county. So we were fortunate that we had a County Enterprise Board I suppose, in the southern system that had a focus on small business development and supports generally. Our northern partners wouldn't have had that same system, but in the meantime, I suppose the changes have happened that the County Enterprise Board is now part of the wider council family through the local enterprise office, and indeed the changes in function in our northern councils would have seen a lot of the same competencies in terms of enterprise and development support now coming to reside with the new council system in the north. So there's very much a coexistence of councils with similar competencies on both sides of the border, and I think that makes it easier for us to continue this relationship in a positive way. It's, I think, essential to have business networks. Business networks play a strong role in supporting enterprise development generally, and I think it's fair to say that REN NET did this through providing training, through providing best practice experiences and opportunities for networking. And I think one of the very positive things for me is that, you know, it turned people from being potential competitors with each other to being collaborators. And of course, as businesses, you have to compete, but there are times as well that when you pool your resources, you can actually go for bigger jobs and be more successful in the long term. So I think it is useful in that respect. And I suppose what we find in life generally is that when you build relationships where there's communication between parties, then there's always positives that come out of that. And I think for that alone, the project has been extremely useful. The green economy generally is a very important element of our economy at local level, and I think it provides a lot of opportunity for the future as well. I suppose we had a county development board structure here that, with the assistance of the council and through the council, would have developed a strategy for the economic, social, and cultural development of the county going back to, I suppose, 2001, 2002. That was initially a 10-year strategy and stratus, and the potential of the green economy was, I suppose, flagged in that at a very early point. And that was extended then, I suppose, towards the end of the lifetime of the county development boards, where that same potential was again recognised and reflected in the strategy that, I suppose, linked the end of the county development board period into the current period now. We now have a system at local level where we have a local economic and community development committee that has the responsibility to assist the councils in the preparation of a local economic and community plan. And again, it's fair to say that the potential of the green economy is very much again emerging as a key objective within that. There are many benefits, I suppose, to making best use of the wider potential of the green economy. It's recognised that the environmental benefits and the economic opportunities that arise from, I suppose, the available renewable energy resources are significant. The geography of our own county here, and indeed the Northwest region generally, has significant potential to harness those energies. I think when you look at the fact that 95% plus of our land boundary is with northern partners, it's imperative that those relationships are built with our near neighbours on the northern side. And the building of these strategic cross-border partnerships across the Northwest region generally, I think, will help us to get the most from that particular sector of the economy, and will also help us to share the benefit right across the region generally. I want to acknowledge the assistance and collaboration indeed of Enterprise Ireland, Intertrade Ireland and Invest Northern Ireland, together with Donegal County Enterprise Board, which is now the local enterprise office. Those organisations, among others, were involved as advisors in this project from the very early days, and I suppose I would look forward to they continuing to be part of that relationship as we look to mainstream the benefits that have been, I think, better understood as part of this project for the period ahead. The REN NET project has benefited the businesses involved, but I think it's also benefiting the wider Northwest region. And I think one of the key things for me is that it perhaps has moved the debate and the discussion around the potential of the green economy away from the generation side only to actually having a very clear focus on how we can do much better as a society and an economy generally in relation to how we use energy. And I think to bring that balance back into that debate is very useful, because I think it tends to get sometimes pigeoned as a focus on the supply side only. And I think it's in how we retrofit what we have, or how we think about putting in different types of appliances and systems into the future, that obviously gives the wider benefit to the local economy. And I think I would very much compliment businesses that have emerged as part of this and putting in significant effort and obviously taking the risks with that. But I would also very much compliment the older businesses that have been in existence for a longer period, that have at this stage in time seen the benefits in changing their focus from what they were at traditionally to adding this particular interest to their offering. And I think our society generally will have a better offering and a more competitive offering to them as a consequence. I wish that the network continued success. I look forward to the relationships that were built during the development of the project to date. All the best, and I sincerely hope that those relationships are sustained into the future, and indeed that others are incorporated within it as time goes on. So I wish you well for the conference, and I also have no doubt that you will spend time in looking at the exhibits next door. It's amazing when you look around there this morning, even from, say, the last conference I would have been at, to see the advances in technology, and indeed, in particular, how many of the products that are now on offer are much more affordable than they were in the past. So I think that means that we're getting to a stage where these products will become a very significant mainstream part of the materials that are used in buildings into the future. So thank you all very much, and enjoy the day.